Hello guys, how are we doing? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another episode of Help with Harrz. Today we're going to be reviewing a Crimson gamer, hopefully trying to fine-tune their AR abilities using the TAC 56 in order to get them to Iridescent. So if you're in a similar situation, you find yourself, you're a decent AR, you can shoot relatively straight, but you're not quite winning as many games as you want to be in order to get to Iridescent, try and stick around to this video because this will be for you. We're going to be looking at this form, we're going to be going through what they want to improve on personally, we're then going to be reviewing the gameplay in its entirety, and then there's a little bit of a conclusion at the end where we go through what stood out as being really good from the player, what stood out to be could be improved upon, and then finally a potential rank I'm going to give you towards the end of the video. So without further ado, let's read through this the form and then we'll get into the gameplay. So they're a PC gamer on Crimson 1, and their highest rank is Crimson 1, so I think they get into Crimson, get into a little bit more difficult lobbies and get a little bit hard stuck. And the settings are really decent, it's very similar to mine, although I hope that's a 0.03, not a 0.3, because otherwise you're hindering yourself heavily there. You're playing with a Scuff Reflex PS5 controller, so you've got the clicky triggers and the drift mod. I like that, good controller. And then what would you like me to focus on in your gameplay? Centering, awareness in game, AR routes, and how to generally be more useful for the team, and most importantly, your aim. So you've capitalized that. So I mean, I'm guessing it's your most important thing you want to improve upon, but we'll take a look at the gameplay in a second to find out. In your opinion, what do you struggle with when playing Modern Warfare 2 rank play? I think my biggest struggle is centering. Every time I see gameplays, I notice and I am needlessly shaky, and during matches, I feel most of the time insecure of what to do. Also, my aim is, I think, pretty mediocre, and despite training every time before I go into rank play, I don't feel to improve myself to be iridescent. It's been 3 seasons since I'm Harrz at Crimson 1. P.S. Sorry for my bad call-outs. I'm Italian. Oh, we're international, guys. We had a Portuguese fella last gameplay, and today we're reviewing an Italian gamer. So yeah, nice to see it. So a good thing I want to say here, first and foremost, is you said something. Yeah, you do training before you go into rank play. What training is it? I would suggest it's against bots rather than against real people, because for bots you can really focus on your aim, whereas people you get killed by shot. If you're jumping into shipment, for example, there's so much uncontrollable activity that you can't control. So yeah, that's a good thing. So without further ado, let's get into the gameplay.
Light work, people.
So Crimson 1, you're on a win streak. This is nice to see. And the lobby's fairly uneven. You're coming across 2 people on Crimson who are on a streak, and you're playing with diamond players. So we'll see.
Yeah.
So class setup wise, you're using almost the perfect class setup. I think there's nothing I would change here. This was almost identical to mine, so perfect so far. I like this route. I think you took a little bit too long there. So I think what you could have done with this route is chowed. I mean, I like this. I like you being careful here, but you've missed the guy that ran around sofas by the call out anyway. Your teammates said there's someone sofas. They managed to get through. So if you want to take that route, in order to be beneficial for your team, try and get there a little bit quicker. Whether you have a knife instead of a pistol for your opening route, I'm not sure, but yeah. So far, I like this gameplay. You're not playing too aggressively. You're playing the position. You're holding where you need to be held in. Yeah, and that's a rough situation. So let's just review this quickly. You hear him, you turn. Your centering is not bad. You said centering is terrible. Your centering at sort of center mass, so if they're drop shotting around things, you can adjust quickly. Center is not bad. It's just a shame he's on top of a sofa. I don't mind that. That's fine. It's a really hard gameplay to win.
Where the fuck did he go?
The only thing maybe I would have suggested in that situation is maybe trust your teammates to hold the front and you simply watch sofas. That may be the only thing I could suggest there, because your teammates had the front. They could have communicated it to you if they needed help, and you could have just sat watching sofas. But unfortunately, you tried to assist your teammates looking front, which I sort of get. You're looking for kills. It's a bit quiet. Yeah, I don't mind that. But yeah, if you wanted to improve in that certain situation, that's what I'd have done differently. So I like this because you're P4 and you've got a teammate spar. The enemy team will always spawn chandelier. So you may see the odd person come through mid. Very rarely they're going to take a route from chandelier all the way around here. So you're maybe not as influential in the gameplay as you could be here. I don't mind this. You're hopping in. You're helping your teammates a little bit. There's 3 down. You're the sort of the last one up. You notice your teammates spawn bedroom or mid or bedroom sort of side, which means they're blocking spar spawns, and they're almost always blocking chandelier at that point as well. Nice couple of gunfights won there. Nice, I like that. Good gameplay so far. So you say your aim isn't great, but I am not noticing any poor aiming. Your aim is not bad at all. If you feel like you are a little bit shaky, maybe adjust your dead zone slightly, because that may be the issue you're finding. Maybe lower them or higher them, and then just, you know, get in a private match and try them out. But yeah, so far your aim's immaculate. So right here, you're in a good spot because you're well protected, but you've got 2 down, and you sort of want them to spawn behind you. Because you're in this half of this hard point, you're going to be blocking the back spar spawns, so they're never going to really spawn back here. I would suggest pushing up if you want to flip spawns. I'd suggest pushing up to this red door. It might allow them to spawn behind you, but where you are, they definitely won't spawn behind you. So that's just a little tip to help manipulate the spawns a little bit. I like this route. Instead of pushing through diner, you're pushing around, getting the exit through side door. So the main goal here as an AR is to make sure that you're blocking the back spawn, back kitchen, back bedroom, so that they can't spawn there. So it allows your teammates to only purely focus on cat's room or TV room and then freezer. So like this, you're baiting. Okay. There was an MP7 on the floor you could have grabbed before jumping in, which would have given you a better chance of survival in that situation. As an AR, I don't like to be the entry. I would have most definitely, if that were me, I would have most definitely picked up the SMG and chowed. But you can wallbang most of the walls in this hard point, so it's always worth, especially if you've got the TAC 56 in your hand, you know, wallbanging all the walls just to check whether or not you get a couple of kills. So this situation here, so you died, that's fine.
Nice. Probably coming freezer.
And you spawn here. So if you spawn here, there's 40 seconds left. The best thing you can possibly do for your team is make sure you stay in this situation, this position right here, because it will block any of them spawning back bedroom, and it allows you to cover this side door. And that means the 3 people you've got on the hard point only really need to look at the 2 areas of TV room and freezer. So you're doing good. I like this. I'm not criticizing this at all, but I'd have liked to have seen you not go into the hill at this point. I'd like to have seen you stay where you are, apply that pressure, and ensure that, you know, your teammates only really need to focus on one area. But that's just spawn knowledge. As a little heads up, this is what I like to do. If you sort of stay on these stairs, there's a little couple of stairs between this opening. If you look at the minimap here, you can see their entry through this double door here and then through side door. This blocks bedroom spawns, and it means that your teammates, you've got this side door covered, and it means your teammates going to fully put their attention towards freezer or cat room.
He's a joke, this kid. He's an absolute joke.
Yeah, I like this. You're clearing the bedroom. Bedroom spawns are my favourite spawns because it means that as long as you've got someone in bedroom, they're always spawning back spar, and it means they can then get on the god heady looking over the point. One thing I'm noticing as well, you said about your poor comms because you're Italian. I think that's the complete opposite. Your communication is very concise. I just want to stop talking for a second here and let the rest of the viewers listen to your communication.
Still at dusk. Steps. Nice.
Dead. One bottom dead. Need watch reception. Need watch reception. Bottom dead on me.
So I think probably about
Dead.
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 Another one. Nice.
Nice, lads. Good.
Another one.
On there.
He's weak. Nice.
nice. So you call out dead. The only thing I would say could improve on your call out is call out what you're doing. Like, you should never really be silent. You should call out where you're going, where you're going to hold in a second, and those sort of things. But overall, comms are really good. They're concise, they're clear, and they give good information. There's no buffer, there's no waffle. It's good, concise communication, and I like that. So that route, I don't mind. The only thing I'd like to, that's a good angle. They're not really, it's a hard angle for them to win unless they're really on the stairs. But this is a tight angle. You're challenging that when they are. Most of the time you're going to lose it against an SMG because of the angle. It's quite a close range gunfight. I do want to say as well, you are jump shotting a lot. I'd like, it's not as bad as it used to be, but when you jump shot in this game, it reduces your speed of ADSing, which means that if you jump shot into a gunfight, you're going to aiming slower than someone who isn't jump shotting. I mean, you do get the edge because you catch them unawares. They might not be centering higher, but yeah, again, your comms are really good here. You're communicating what you're seeing. Yeah, you just, it's an MP7. What can you do at that point? The only thing I would say is that if you felt like they were pushing from that direction, I get you're watching this area, but you can trust your 2 teammates on the hill to pick that up. they've only got 2 areas they need to watch at the end of the day. You can pull yourself back a little bit, maybe sit at this double door and watch this from a further distance, because that way you would have had a better chance of winning that gunfight.
One front.
But yeah, jump shotting takes longer for you to ADS when you do it. That's the only thing I'd say about that. As soon as I started implementing the drop shot every so often into my AR gunfights, I started winning a lot more. Yeah, I'm very skeptical about what you're doing here.
Yeah, one.
Yeah.
One top bed. Top bed.
I get you need to clear the bedroom, but you're doing it with a TAC 56. Chances are they're not going to have their ARs in there. They're going to be playing their subs in there, and you are going to lose gunfights against SMGs in that area because, especially at this level, people don't miss. The SMGs will just kill quicker in that situation. Okay, so you've got kitchen spawns. I like this. You're playing back kitchen. This is perfect. It means that the only place they can spawn is P4. So once you've got hill control, that's all you really need to watch. So you've got these little things down here. You've got a frag grenade and a stun. I would have liked to seen a bit of use of those. It's free information, it's free damage, and you get them every single time you die. You don't have to pay for them. It's literally,
No way.
it's a good way to get good damage out and even deter people from pushing hard points. So again, you chose quite a direct route to help the hill here. So from here, I get this. You chow this guy, fine. You decided to leave him. I'd have liked to seen you play distance. You can shoot straight. I know you said your aim, you don't feel like your aim's the best it can be, but you can abuse these headies back here. You can stand on these, and you can see the entire hill from these blocks on this. On this mini map here. And there's like the waterfall area. You can stand on these blocks. You can see almost the entire hill, other than this one corner. So yeah, I'd recommend jumping up there, just because you're taking on gunfights here, which, if they have an SMG, they might poop on you. I mean, if you need to try and increase the distance where possible in your gunfights, and use your utility. That's the only, that hill, they got a lot of time, and I think if you'd have pushed a little bit further back into the spawn, all the way back into like the waterfall area where I said, you maybe would have got a couple of kills on the hill, and then use your nades as well would have been even more of an improvement upon that.
One couches.
So because you've just spawned here, when this hill was popped, you know that majority of their team are going to be in kitchen.
One's reception.
And coming from that general vicinity.
One's fucking carpet's weak as fuck. Sorry, carpet.
Your centering's good. If you look at this if you look at the center dot, you're centering where they probably are most likely going to be. Okay, just a little tip. It's nothing crazy. You can jump on this little. There's a little seat next to you on your left here. If you jump onto that, you're hidden from connector, and you can use this block as a head glitch over towards double arches as well. So it's a nice little spot if you find yourself in a sticky situation like you were just there. You probably would have died anyway because you didn't have enough time, but yeah, instead of hiding behind it, use it as a head glitch. Nice, very good shots. Yeah. Okay, you knew he was here. I get you want to use your utility, you want to use your trophy. You've just seen him go here. I'm not sure it was the best time to use it. You probably should have pre-aimed him, chowed him, and then used your trophy. Sorry, once you cleared the area. That's fine. It's a minor mistake. Nothing too crazy.
Box weak. Can't fucking kill this kid.
It's nice. You've got the fundamentals down, so you're rotating properly here. You're rotating almost as just perfect. Like I'd have rotated the same time as you are in most of these situations. Your rotating's on point. Nice. I'm not sure whether. Yeah, that was perfect. That was good. That was a good gunfight. You used your stun, maybe threw him off a little bit there, and won the gunfight. Again, you're not missing much. You said your aim's crap. It's not. I just want to say it's not crap. Maybe you could be a little bit higher, but I think most of your gunfights that you're losing are because you're jumping rather than your bad aim. If you decided to lay down instead of jumping, chances are you're going to be able to ADS quicker and therefore just aim a lot quicker. Again, you jump there. It's you just jumped into their gunfight. You couldn't aim in quick enough, and your crosshairs widen as well when you jump as well. So it means that when you hit fire, it's going to be less and less accurate.
One bottom
Looking
P6.
at freezer.
Nice. This is actually perfect. I see a lot of people not do this, but you've rotated into kitchen and you haven't only just got control of the hill itself, you've then pushed out the spawn and tried to maintain control of the main hill, the main control spawn you want to be holding at this point. Good game. This is good. This is perfect. This is what you need to be doing.
Oh, nice. I got your middle push. Freeze out one shot.
So your team, I'm not sure where your teammate is. He's always next to the catwalk. He's blocking bedroom spawn, so you don't really need to help with the blocking here. So you're helping in time.
Yeah, gone both. One coming back now. Back out to.
Okay, so you sense a lot of pressure from the back here. Your teammates have just died here, so your head's probably thinking they're going to be coming back door or side door, which is what you're doing. You've even thrown a stun because you're so convinced they're coming that way. Why not use your frag? It'll deter their push. So what I'd do, this is if let's say I'm in a situation right here. Two teammates have just died back bedroom area. That opens up the two teammates, the two enemies who have just died to spawn back there. So chances are they're all going to spawn back here, and you're going to get a lot of pressure from these either side door or back door. The stun, perfect. I'd have also thrown a nade, and then I'd also reposition myself over to this area of the hill. From here, if you get chowed from this side door, or even this door, it's pretty hard, but if you get chowed from this side door, they're going to check this corner, and if they've got an SMG, you're going to die, because there's no way you're going to be able to kill an SMG at this close. So yeah, I'd have thrown a nade over towards this open door, back door here, and then move myself over towards the freezer side of this the hill. From there, if you sit in this corner, you can see the side door, and it's not a corner people tend to check. They tend to jump in from the back door and check over here.
No,
so yeah, that's fine. That's exactly what we thought would happen, and they managed to get 30 seconds as a result of that.
One shot at them.
Let's go next. Doesn't matter.
Good. This is good. You've gained the big brain role within the team. You've said go next. It doesn't matter. There's no point flipping spawns, wasting 10 seconds to get there. You've called the rotation. Your team have listened. This is good. This is a perfect what you need to do as an AR. You need to be, you need to have a character like that.
Then we should go unless they come through back zone.
I hold spa.
I'll get hill. I'll get hill instead. I'll get hill.
Bottom.
Okay. Just fine. You're on a nice little head glitch here. Using your nades and stuns.
We might spawn back.
No. What's up, spa?
So you just spawned out here, which means that there's someone probably pushing spa and bedroom. They're blocking both bedroom spa spawns.
Yeah, back spa.
D2.
Oh, yeah.
2D2.
You landed right.
Yeah, no, I have to jump and chow too. Then we've got no one.
Nice.
Nice. Not bad.
So your teammate has just spawned bedroom. So the main spawns here, if you haven't seen my spawn guides, if you haven't, I'd suggest checking them out. But the main spawns here are bedroom, spa, and then mid. So they'll lead, if you're blocking bedroom, they'll spawn spa. If you're blocking spa, they'll spawn bedroom. If you're blocking both, they'll spawn mid. But your teammates have just both spawned out, which means you should know they're coming from spa at this point.
No one from spa again. Everyone's from maybe.
So yeah, a little bit of spawn knowledge there. You'd have probably been fine.
Luggage.
Ah, that's a tough gunfight to win. Essentially, he was just head glitching the stairs. A good play from him, to be fair.
One in there already.
Again, you're telling the team, leave this, go next. Let's get a proper setup here, which I like.
Need help. You don't need me two on there, bro.
No.
Yeah, again, it's a rough gunfight to have, especially considering there's SMGs around. It's quite a tight angle there.
I got one.
I'd always go wider there if I have an AR.
Got one.
Right. I'm gonna sound like a broken record here, but I want to see you use your nades at this point. They're on the hill. You're not sure exactly where they are. Use your nades. Use your stuns. If you get damage, you know where they are. If you don't get damage, you know where they aren't. But yeah, you get the kill anyway. You managed to break the hill, and you managed to get the final kill for the win, I believe. Okay, good gameplay. I don't think it's as bad as you probably think it is whatsoever. Your shots aren't as bad as you say. If you do feel like they are a little bit shaky, as I said previously, jump into a private match, play around with your dead zones. I mean, in the form it said they were 0.3. They are 0.3, reduce them, but if they're 0.03, you should be fine. Maybe try and raise them a little bit. And overall, your stat line's not terrible. You've got 7 you know, 7 defends, which means you won 7 gunfights whilst being on the hill. You didn't go negative. You got enough time. Not a bad gameplay. There's a couple of things I would probably suggest doing a little bit better, which I've spoken about. So, as we replay this, we're going to be now going through what I think was good about it, what I think could be improved on, and then potential ranking if you do approve upon the things I mentioned. So, good. Your aim's actually decent. So you said your aim's terrible. You're winning 99% of your gunfights. The only ones you're not winning are ones where you're coming against SMGs because you're positioning yourself poorly. That or you're jumping. If you're challenging people and you feel like, you know, you're not winning and you're like, how have I lost that? Chances that's because you're jumping, which means your AD is slower and you then can't win the gunfight because you're simply not aimed in time. If you drop shot, you can aim in just as quickly as you would be from standing. Chances are you're going to win your gunfight. So yeah, give that a go. Don't do it all the time. I'm not saying drop shot at every single gunfight you have, but try and implement it into every so often, just so that you know, get into the habit of doing it. It's not a bad thing to do. Good comms. So I noticed we did have a little listen to communication. Your comms are good. Again, even though you said they're not great, they're concise, they're clear, and they're informative. That's the 3 ticks, the 3 big ticks you need in order for good communication. You also seem to be the brain of the team. You're communicating your team. You're being the big AR role and saying, right, let's leave this. Go new. Leave me here. I'll get this time. Go new. You know, you're being the commander of your team. And you hopefully, you know, you may be the reason which you actually won in fairness because you are the person that says, you know what, let's just leave this 20 seconds, set up a new. I think that's good. I think that's a good quality for an AR player to have. Rotating, you rotate perfectly. You, as I said previously in the gameplay, you rotate just as well as I'd have rotated in certain situations. I have no qualms at all with your rotations. The only thing I'd like to see you do slightly better is rotate for the spawns and play the spawns a little bit more heavily. So we said, that leads me into one thing. I'd like to see a little bit better spawn knowledge, maybe take a little bit of time to learn the spawns. I have done a few guys. If you haven't seen them, there's it's like, I can, if you want, let me know, I can give you a link, but they are further a little far back in my my video, so check the spawn guides out and you'll see what I'm saying. But yeah, spawn knowledge, you know it for the most part, but there's ways in which you can implement the knowledge and really get used to manipulating the spawns to make your gunfights easier, as well as making your gunfights easier for the team. There's a lot of times you spawn in, you're not really sure where they're spawning, and you're in a situation in which doesn't really influence the spawn, so your whole team's really not sure where they're spawning. Once you learn spawns, you can even communicate them to your team, and yeah, you'll be laughing at that point. I just want to say, since I learned spawns for this game, the game is a lot easier, and I find it a lot easier to win games. So that's the biggest tip for someone like you who's already got the fundamentals down, but you're not quite sure of where people are spawning in. Actively try and learn them is my tip there. As I say, another bad side, supposedly, I mean, it's arguably bad, is jump shot. And the amount of jump shots you do is fine. Like, a lot of the times it does pay off, but a lot of the times it does lose you the gunfight. So as I said previously, reduce the amount of times you jump shot, try and implement a few drop shots and you should be fine. And then there's your utility usage, so your frag grenades, your stuns, they're fine. I don't think they're bad at all. You are using them sometimes, but there are situations in which you can use them to enhance your ability to break in hills and you know, increase the chances of winning games and getting to Iridescent, I suppose, which is the end goal. And then finally, positioning. Sometimes your positioning doesn't favor your role, so you're playing shortcuts where you're going to be bumping into SMGs, and you're just not going to win gunfights against SMGs in this, especially in this elo, where they're just not bad players. Everyone can shoot straight in Diamond, Crimson, Iridescent. So yeah, you need to be positioning yourself in places where you know if you're taking gunfights, you're going to be able to win, even if you're pre-aiming like that. So that's one thing I would say. Another example of this is when we were, I can't remember what, I think it may be the next hill. Right here, I'd have liked to seen you play the back spawns. This sort of positioning would have given you access to the whole hill. You'd have been able to see the whole hill if you stood on top of these waterfalls, and then you'd have been able to break them with the nades. There's just certain situations like that which would have, you know, if they were a little bit of a better team you were playing against, they'd have really pounced on it every single hill. Yeah, you'd have won by even more. You'd have got even more established. You'd have 100 point in the club probably, and then you'd have been Iridescent in no time. But yeah, talking of Iridescent, what do I see your potential being? So, your comms are very good. You're very placid. You're very calm and communicated, and you can communicate well. Sorry. which is key to being an AR player. People listen to you as well, which is important as an IGL. If you improve your spawn knowledge, if you really get the gist of spawning, you stop jump shotting so much and use your utility. I have seen worse players in Iridescent, that's for sure. So yeah, you definitely be able to climb the ranks of Crimson. You won't be Crimson 1 anymore. You'll get there. You'll manage. You'll find your way up the Crimson ranks and maybe get Iridescent if you implement these things. So the biggest takeaways I would say from this are: learn the spawns inside out. As an AR, it makes your job easier. You're going to be challenging people from your pre-aims because you're going to know where they're spawning. That'll give you a big advantage. You will win more games. Use your utility a lot more. You're going to be breaking hills a lot quicker. I mean, I don't know how you S&D and control this game because that's 2/3 of the game at the end of the day. But yeah, use your utility more and you're going to win more hard points. And then yeah, positioning. Make sure every time you're pre-aiming somewhere, you're in your head, you're thinking, right, if an SMG challenges me at this position, am I winning this? If not, you're not in a great position. It will be a conscious thought initially, but generally it will come, it will just come really naturally, and then you'll be able, you'll navigate the map the best way possible for your gun. So yeah, I hope this has helped. If you have any questions, as I said, you can DM me on Twitter. My links to all my socials are down below, or you can just message in the comments if you're happy for it to be public. But yeah, good gameplay. You're not as bad as you think whatsoever, and you've definitely got potential. Yeah, hope this has helped. If you're not Harrz, hope you enjoyed the help anyway. And I'll catch you in the next video. Take care. Ciao for now.